The Demonic Virtue by Niall R. Piper II. Part 1, Chapter 8. The Mountain.
"Return to me, Addifer,"
said the voice from yonder. Addifer lay, annoyed, still floating in the ocean. He ignored the Creator's call.
"Why do you choose to betray my love?"
The voice thundered. It was at this comment that Addifer's mind flooded full of the strange, familiar, rebellious revenge. Beneath this anger, he thought for a moment he was regretful. This thought soon fleeted. The predominant hate grew faster than his regret. He was not sure how he would ever win this fight, but perseverance would prevail. Eventually, if the Creator got out of his way, there would be no struggle. Why would the Creator not let him be? His lips raised sharply in disgust. "Leave me alone," he shouted, with such intensity that he lifted his head from the water. The veins of his neck visibly bulged to connect with those of his forehead. His eyes were now a dark crimson, his pupils a deep black that sunk into and nearly swallowed the whites of his eyes. A reply came from above.
"Will you not let me help you?"
asked the voice curiously. Addifer briefly considered the offer, but the anger inside him resisted. Anger, an emotion, a rage he did not have access to until his descent. This was not his, but the Creator's doing. Before Addifer responded or acknowledged his own self-set refusal, the surface of the water began to ebb and flow with great magnitude. Bubbles rose and burst from all around the floating angel. From beneath Addifer, a cluster of rising air pockets brought forth a mountain from the ocean floor. The giant rock structure lifted Addifer from the water. Addifer's eyes widened. He grabbed a hold of the rocks and held on, in preparation of being tossed from the growing mountain. He sunk his head into the rock as tightly as his skin would allow. Once again, this fleeting fear beset him.
"Just call on me. Call my name."
The mountain grew viciously towards the sky. With it, the rock brought the tattered angel. As the planet shook, he was shaken from his grip. His body rolled to a ledge where he desperately reached for a crevice to grip. He managed to grab the cliffside. Addifer clung onto the ledge with one hand. Looking down at the distant water and rocks rumbling below him, he cursed the Creator. He looked up at the cloudy sky and added a second hand to the ledge. As the mountain slowed, Addifer lifted himself to rest on the ledge. The rock rose ever so slightly as the water poured off into the white rapids below. The ocean, falling from atop the mountain onto the ledge, lashed harshly against his body. The rushing downfall of water attempted to rip him once more from his grip. "You will not break me," he shouted at the Creator as the water flooded his face. The rising structure abruptly stopped. In this abruptness, Addifer lost his grip and fell from this place. His body tumbled down the rock side. In a panic, he reached out once more for the wall, but the rock was too slippery. His fall was stopped short by another protruding ledge on the mountainside. His body slammed into the flat rock in front of a cave mouth. He lay limp for a while as the structure settled to a halt. The quakes continued. As he raised his head, he viewed, as far as he could see, giant mountains rising from the sea all around him. For miles and miles, the ocean was split open by a fever of quakes and standing mountains. As frightened as he had been, he dwelled on his anger for strength. After his mind settled, oddly enough, there was a calmness that came over him. Addifer confirmed the feeling within him, and he thought of the beauty of it all. What lay outside Heaven's Gate? What a sight it was to witness such chaos in creation. Laying on the ledge with his cheek to the wet rock, he grinned. Satisfaction came to him. This satisfaction was the source of his strange calmness. He had not conceded. His pride gave him that extra bit of energy for preservation. None of the other angels could have ever continued on through this madness. Surely they would have given in. Even in the midst of such excitement, he was strong and refused the Creator. The Creator did not hail him again. This has been The Demonic Virtue by Niall R. Piper II. Part 1, Chapter 8. Tune in next week for Part 1, Chapter 9 and 10 of The Demonic Virtue by Niall R. Piper II.